I think it is definitely something to be very concerned about and to prepare for very seriously. We were discussing the same thing a year ago on your show on ABC News. And at that point, I did not think that we would be here again. Every year, we use the same language of highest ever, hottest ever, coldest ever, rainiest ever. But these extremes have become part of the new normal. And we need to change our plans and preparedness for this situation, which is already happening at an average, a global average of 1.1 degrees Celsius of warming. We need to prepare for the world that is much warmer than that. And that means changing a lot of things that we do down to the local level. You might be hearing some of the news out of India about how schools are being shut down. Political rallies have led to massive heat strokes and even fatalities. And certainly the people who need to we really need to take care of are people whose work involves them being out: farmers, construction workers, delivery workers, gig economy workers who can't afford to stay in and who can't easily protect themselves.
Yes, it was quite alarming to read about that event that seemed to go on for 10 hours, people being left exposed in intense heat. Why are events held like this in heat like that? Why are precautions not taken if there are events that they do want to hold?
I think we need to think about heat stress the way we did for COVID, to make sure that there are protocols in place and to make sure that everybody is aware of these protocols. I think in India, summer temperature is something that we've grown up with, we are used to. There used to be, for example, a few years ago, a few decades ago, shops would close down in the afternoon. Cities would just go still in the afternoons. Children would be home and go out to play only in the evening. But all that has changed in the modern world. Shops stay open all afternoon, even in the summer. School children go out and prepare for tournaments. They play competitive sports. So modern life has changed, and our traditional ways of dealing with the climate, with nature, are no longer relevant, no longer robust. And the climate is changing drastically in ways that sometimes takes us by surprise. So I think we need to prepare for these uncertainties, for the erratic nature of different types of temperature and rainfall extreme events, and have these preparedness plans in place. Many states and cities in India do have heat action plans, but these need to be translated into simple words that local people can understand in their own languages and need to be enforced really in a serious way. Now, for example, some state governments have said that schools will be shut down over the coming days. So we need local actions like that.
But more broadly, Ulka, when we look at this, as you pointed out, we talked about this last year, we've talked about it in so many nations, but in India in particular, do you feel, it's a growing economy, there are policy settings with regards to the type of energy that's been produced. Do you think the government is responding quickly enough and changing course on some of these?
Yes, I think this always becomes a concern especially when viewed from the West, that this is a growing economy, it's an energy-hungry economy, and especially when you see these kinds of extreme heat events coming up, there is definitely a need for greater energy for cooling. But what's happening in India is really that the rapid pace of renewable energy installation is taking everyone by surprise. There's a serious commitment to it. But of course, our main fuel is coal. And the faster that the renewable energy can be scaled up, the more easily the fossil fuel electricity can be phased down. And for that, the make or break element really is finance. We are seeing finance coming in when it comes to conventional solar or conventional wind, but there needs to be a much more rapid acceleration of finance for offshore wind, for more efficient technologies, for even green hydrogen in industry, because it's all a system. And the energy that households use or that, for example, commercial buildings use is only the front facing, the part that is more visible. But at the back of it, the economy is running on this engine of energy that needs to be made rapidly renewable energy.
Yeah, which, can also be a wonderful job creation. Is it sort of incumbent on industry to play a very big role rather than necessarily waiting for government to change the settings?
I think industry is already playing quite an ambitious role in highlighting the ways in which they can go faster The government is also listening to them and responding through various kinds of incentives that not only change the energy structure, but also creates jobs. I think industry needs to step up even one level further and make sure that the skills are in place for the new jobs that are created. And the people who are displaced from the old fossil intensive jobs and value chains are actually reskilled and reaccommodated in the new jobs. So as you can imagine, there's a lot that needs to happen and a lot of capacity needs to be built at the local scale in various states, various sectors. So again, finance becomes very crucial. It needs to flow at the right time to the right actions. And skilling is something that is really at the tops of everyone's minds right
Yes,
now.
yeah, especially as you become the most populous nation in the world. Great to speak again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.